All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. In today's stream, we are going to be talking about episode 34 of Ninjago, otherwise known as the conclusion to Rebooted, the Titanium Ninja. Now, this one is pretty infamous for being a real tearjerker, and I will say just right off the bat, rewatching this last night, yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that I sobbed. I mean, who wouldn't cry? I wasn't expecting it to hit that hard, but it did. So, yeah, I guess that's something. For those of you guys wondering what the drink is today, we just got a bottle of water. Actually, that's not true. We have two bottles of water. Good stuff. And Waffle's here too. She's hanging out on the desk. I don't know how long she's going to be here, but Waffle is my streaming buddy. In case you guys are just joining us here for the first time, welcome, welcome. We usually do these streams Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. Obviously, if there's ever a day where I cannot stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab, and of course, the episode review isn't going to take up the entirety of the stream, so we'll jump into Q&A after that gets done. Pretty much about 20-ish minutes into the stream usually is how it goes. In terms of my streaming calendar, this is something else that I will be doing for the rest of the year. This is what it's going to look like in case you guys have not seen this yet. It was on my community tab as well as yesterday's stream. So in case you guys have not seen this, basically what we're going to be doing is running the rest of the week today as normal, obviously. Next week, though, we are only going to be streaming for the first 3 days, and you'll see that on your screen. And the 24th and the 25th, we are not going to be streaming, obviously, because that's Christmas Eve and Christmas. I'm not going to be around for that, so obviously there's not going to be any streams. But then the following week, we will be back to continue the Tournament of Elements saga as per usual. And there will be also a stream on New Year's Eve as well as New Year's Day. I am planning on, just running a regular stream on New Year's Day, so hopefully you guys can stay tuned for that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get to it. Yeah, again, the Titanium Ninja. This episode isn't, all that happy. It's very sad, but it's also very good. And I do need to say this as well. It's extremely good. The episode itself is amazing. I'm just going to tell you guys that right off the bat. So let's get to it. With these reviews, we break down the plot, then we jump into the good, the bad, and then I give the episode a final score out of 10. So let's get to it. Hopefully you guys got your tissues ready. I got mine ready on the desk too. Let's get to it. So the episode begins with the Ninjaroids returning to Ninjago City with the golden weapons. At the end of the last episode, they kind of took off out of space, and now they have returned. And we get introduced to the official Golden Master. The Overlord kind of steps out of the shadows fully in his physical form now. Of course, he's still a little weak and a little crippled, but besides that, he is fully back and he is ready to, I guess, take Ninjago under his own control. So that's awesome. Obviously, they're melting down the golden weapons as well to create a suit of armor or a battle mech for the Overlord, so that's cool too. We will see that later on. But they do free Cyrus Borg. He's freed of the Overborg possession, if you will, and the Ninjaroids are preparing once again for the final battle to fully take over Ninjago. And meanwhile, in space, the ninja aren't really doing so hot. They're kind of trapped still, and they do decide, though, after a little bit of a motivational speech by Lloyd, they decide to build a haphazardly constructed spacecraft and kind of attempt to make their way back into Ninjago using Zane as a power source. So they do that. Unfortunately, they don't get all the way, and after they make it into the atmosphere, they break off into their own separate elemental shields and, I guess, descend down to Ninjago. So that's fun. It's the only time that we see the elemental shields in Ninjago, and they are a really cool concept, and I wish they would actually bring them back and, do something with them because, they're cool. But this is the only episode that we see them. Meanwhile, the Overlord begins their attack, or the Overlord begins the attack on the city, trying to construct various buildings to create his own fortress. As mentioned later on in the episode, it's just like the Digiverse, his turf, his rules. Makes sense. Meanwhile, Pixel pretty much rendezvous with the ninja and pretty much gives them all of their old vehicles back, so good stuff there. And the ninja team assembles fully reunited with all the ninja, Nia, Pixel, and then the two senseis. Everybody's together and everybody's ready for this battle. So clearly this is going to be something that's going to be pretty big. So their first move is to try and make it to the Temple of Fortitude, where Cyrus Borg actually has some type of plan to defeat the Overlord. Cool stuff there. Cyrus Borg has something that the ninja can use against the Overlord, so their plan is to make it to the Temple of Fortitude, which obviously was left over by the Stone Wars. That was pretty much a fortress used by the Overlord and the Stone Army. So the ninja need to make it there. It's pretty much impenetrable against golden power, which of course the Overlord now is fully, I guess, consumed in. So that's pretty much going to be their plan there. On their way, though, they're kind of intercepted by the Overlord. The Overlord tries his best to destroy the ninja right then and there. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work all that well for him, but Nia is downed, and the rest of the ninja decide to go back and pick her up. Unfortunately, they do get intercepted by the Overlord again. This time he's successful, and the ninja are basically pinned down, and they are pretty much forced to flee on foot. Why does Garmadon want a diet pill? He can't be fat under those robes, can he? I don't know. I'm not like super old like good old Master Garmadon, so not too sure about that. I will also say as well, just outside the context of Ninjago, I do have a cold a little bit, so I do have tissues for that reason. So if you hear me sniffling, that's why. Usually happens in the morning sometimes. So yeah, just bear with me here. Meanwhile, the ninja are pretty much running on foot from the Overlord's golden spinjitzu, which is terrifying. But they eventually do make it into the Temple of Fortitude, and they meet up with everybody else, besides Nia, of course, who's still fighting in the city, and they put up the shields on the Fortitude Temple, which, of course, pretty much defends against golden power, as I said earlier. So that's awesome. Meanwhile, Nia tries her best to fight off the Ninjaroid. She takes on Cryptor a little bit and has a little bit of a battle with him, so that's super fun to see. Nia's kind of on her own in the city, which is kind of unfortunate for her, but overall, I feel like she can hold her own. She'll definitely be okay. Meanwhile, at the temple, Borg reveals his ultimate plan, a diet pill that actually works. No, it's a shrinking pill. Makes sense, right? They're going to shrink the Overlord, and then he won't be as threatening. Something tells me that the Overlord would still be pretty threatening, even if he was small. Yeah, Dareth needs the pill. I will say that. They want the Boomer pill. Yeah, the Boomer pill will take down the Overlord. The Overlord is super old, so, that could work too. But anyway, the pill, yes. Get the Overlord to eat it, and he will shrink. Little more difficult than what could be expected. But, of course, they have a plan. The two senseis have a plan. They used to play this game back in the day where they had to hit things with sticks, it seems like, so pretty much like the poor man's baseball, I guess, maybe. But they decide to go ahead and use those tactical skills, if you will, to launch the pill at the Overlord and shrink him down, and then he will be easier to defeat, I guess. So, of course, without hesitation, the ninja equip themselves with stone armor. Obviously, since they are in a stone army temple, there's stone armor all over the place, just kind of sitting there randomly. So the ninja put that on. They get their new suits. It's kind of like the stone armor suits. So they get those, and they are ready to combat the Overlord. So they exit the temple with the pill. Their goal is to get the senseis to the Overlord so they can eventually shrink him down. Easier said than done. Meanwhile, Nia is pretty much losing her battle against Cryptor, but she has a very special plan. She basically starts talking smack about Cryptor and says that Mindroid came up with it all, and that kind of starts a little bit of a civil war, if you will, between the Ninjroid factions. So that's fun. So Cryptor and Mindroid start going at it. That gives Nia the chance to escape, which she takes full advantage of. So really cool stuff there. Meanwhile, the ninja are making their way through the Golden Master's fortress, if you will, trying to get the senseis in there. Wu and Garmadon comment about how it's just like old times because they're actually on the same side this time fighting a battle. So that's really cool to see as well. They eventually do make it there. They eventually do make it to the Overlord, and Wu and Garmadon execute their plan. Garmadon tosses Wu up in the air, and Wu basically launches the pill towards the Overlord, and it's a very slow motion, dramatic shot. We can kind of see it going and going, and then Pythor eats it. So yeah, thanks Pythor. Thanks for ruining everything. But yeah, Pythor eats it, takes one for the team, and as promised, he shrinks. So Pythor is very small snake. So that will lead into the next season, obviously, when we will see Pythor again. He's kind of chased off screen right now by the Falcon, who tries to eat him, and he basically runs away. So that's fun. That's the last we see of Pythor. But yeah, Pythor shrinks, and that plan did not work. The Overlord is still very much alive, and now he's very angry because of that attempt. So he latches onto all of the ninja, uses his golden or green tentacle things, whatever you want to call them. They basically are golden and they turn green, obviously, as the golden power is weakened. So yeah, the Overlord basically immobilizes all of the ninja except for Zane, who manages to slip free, and he has a plan, and this is where the tears start a flowing. So Zane basically runs at the Overlord, uses his friends as like launch pads, and kind of launches him up towards the Overlord, and he latches on to the golden mech, and yeah, he immediately starts to, I guess, break apart as a result of this. He obviously can't handle all of the golden weapons because no one really can in Ninjago, unless of course you're the Overlord or Garmadon, but Zane can't do that. Zane obviously is here, and he is not holding up. He is very much determined to do this, but it is working. He is weakening the Golden Master a little bit. There is some stuff that suggests that the Golden Master is being weakened, like the tentacles turn green, obviously as a result of the Golden Power being weakened, and the ninja are kind of set free by that. Zane is still holding on for dear life. The other ninja pretty much try to get him to stop, but Wu basically backs them away, saying that no, he's protecting us. We just need to get away. It'll be fine. And obviously, it's very much not fine. Zane pretty much launches out an ice attack and tries to attack the Overlord himself. Pretty much the most powerful ice attack we've ever seen Zane do. And here's where the tears really start flowing. We get treated to a bunch of emotional flashbacks featuring not only Zane's father, his teammates, but also pretty much all of his achievements and moments throughout Ninjago. And it's heartbreaking, especially with the music going on at the same time. This is the classic Zane theme, which has been used in the future for Ninjago after this episode. But yeah, pretty much, Zane is dying, and that's not cool. It's very sad, very heartbreaking. Again, watching this last night, this hit me, and I don't know why. I wasn't expecting it to hit me because I've seen this episode so many times, but it still hits me just as hard as the first time. I remember watching this the first time and being just appalled by this. I was not okay for a couple of hours after this episode aired. I just, well, excuse my phone. I should turn that off. That's not really appropriate during this time. But yeah, I wasn't really prepared for that when I was young watching this, and even watching it now, I guess I still wasn't prepared for it. But after the flashbacks get done, the rest of the ninja basically retreat into the sewer system to try to take cover, and everyone's witnessing this. We got Pixel and Nia and Borg watching on top of the building, and Pixel's hit by this emotionally as well. And eventually, Zane just can't take it anymore, and he explodes with the Overlord with him. And after this, the city is kind of caked in ice, and Zane is gone, but the Overlord's gone too. We see the Overlord's helmet fall to the floor, obviously empty, and we see Zane's face, or half of Zane's face, as Cole picks it up and kind of hugs Nia, much to the dismay of Jay. And overall, it's not a very happy ending. We then cut to a funeral scene in the city for Zane, and everyone's pretty much there, saying their condolences. Cyrus Borg pretty much starts off this funeral, and Kai kind of joins in afterwards to give his thoughts on what happened to Zane and give his, I guess, condolences to Zane as well, and promise that he'll always be one of them, even if he's not there. So that's very sad. Meanwhile, after all that's said and done, a statue is revealed, the Titanium Ninja. So that's cool. They actually put up a little memorial for Zane in the city. So that's really nice. Afterwards, we get treated to a scene of Pixel in Borg Tower, obviously grieving over what happened to Zane, and that's obviously not super fun to watch. But then all the computers start booting up, and we kind of hear Zane's voice, and it starts to get a little lighter. The music starts to get a little lighter. It's very fun. And Pixel realizes what's going on. She runs to the assembly line as she witnesses Zane presumably putting himself together, fully okay. Obviously not fully okay, but he's alive. That's the important thing. Cool stuff. So obviously the episode ends with pretty much a cliffhanger, if you will. Zane asks Pixel if he's compatible now, and then we cut to credits. Which that's the episode. That's the conclusion of season 3. Couldn't be happier with that. Again, as soon as they hit you with that emotional moment for Zane, they immediately come back and reassure you that he's going to be okay in the next season. So that's something that I always appreciated. I was always kind of going back and forth with the idea of whether or not they should have kept Zane's, I guess, resurrection a secret until the next season, because obviously we know that he's going to be okay at the end of season 3. But part of me wishes that they would have kept that reveal until season 4. But then again, I really like seeing that in this episode here. I felt like that was a really impactful moment, and I thought that was really cool. That'll pretty much do it for the plot. Moving on to the good and the bad. I'm just going to say right away, there is no bad. I could not find a single thing in this episode that either irritated me or upset me. I think this episode's borderline perfect. So let's get into some of those reasons why this episode is so perfect. First of all, for Zane. Yes, Zane is amazing in this episode. Obviously, that's the big thing I need to mention here. Throughout the entirety of Rebooted, Zane was kind of being built up as a character more and more, and this episode is kind of where we see all of that development kind of, show here, and that's really cool. Obviously, Zane put in a lot of work throughout the season, and in this episode, he puts in more work than ever before, so I got to give big props to Zane for this episode. Really great stuff. Also, his battle with the Overlord is legendary. It's even more legendary, I'd say. Some would argue more legendary than the final battle. For me, they're kind of on par, but still, that's pretty impactful, to say the least. I mean, season three's conclusion and season two's conclusion being on par, that's really impressive. So I thought this was really cool. This episode was really well done, all things considered, especially with, again, the Zane versus Overlord aspect of it. The Overlord being the Golden Master is very much intimidating, and obviously a little bit less intimidating than his dragon form, I'd say, but still very much an evil Dark Lord. And the fact that Zane can, defeat him, that's amazing to me. Even if Zane did need to sacrifice himself, Zane defeated the Overlord this go round, so that's awesome to me. That was something that, as I was watching, I was kind of in disbelief for the first time I was watching it because, again, with the Overlord, I always just assumed that only Lloyd could defeat him, but this episode kind of proves otherwise. Of course, this episode does mark, I guess, the final appearance of the Golden Weapons as well, at least for a while. We don't really see them again for a little while longer. The Golden Armor is mysteriously disappeared after at the beginning of the next season, so that'll obviously show up again in later seasons, but we don't see them again for a fair bit. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I understand why they made that choice. Overall, the Zane versus Overlord portion of this was amazing, very emotional as well. Not only with like the actual spectacle, but with the other ninja too. You could tell that the other ninja are hurting with this. They didn't want to let Zane die there, but they really didn't have any other choice. They wanted to help, but they just couldn't, which is very unfortunate on their end. Meanwhile, some other stuff that I thought was really good. The Sensei team up was super fun to see. Wu and Garmadon battling on the same team again during a final battle. That was super fun to see. We'll see a little bit more of that in the next season. Not so much, but we'll see just a little hint of it. But overall, this episode was super great for those two. I really like that dynamic, and the overall city battle, my bad, was super cool too. The All the city landscape and stuff like that, kind of rising and lowering at the Overlord's command. That was super cool to see. It's one of the most unique battles, I'd say, throughout Ninjago. Really good stuff there. The actual battle itself was very impressive, so have to give props to that. I also have to give props to the performance of the voice actors. Once again, super amazing, and also the music as well. Oh my God, do we even need to? We need to talk about the music, man. The music during Zane's actual, I guess, sacrifice is iconic at this point. Again, it's been played a few times throughout Ninjago so far, but this is obviously the moment when it hits most of all. So, got to give big props to the music. Whoever designed this soundtrack is a genius, man, and also the performances of the voice actors too, especially Brent Miller as Zane. Good stuff. Otherwise, all of the ninja did a really good job here. Everyone kind of put in their all into this episode, and I can tell. But the performances and the music, yeah, two big things that I need to mention there. Super, super great. Yeah, easily one of the best in the series. I absolutely agree with that. Otherwise, this was a very clean wrap up to season 3. It does kind of lead into season 4 a little bit, but it's obviously not meant to do that. This is supposed to conclude Zane's storyline, supposed to conclude the rebooted storyline, and it does that. It very much does that. It does kind of lead into the next season just a little bit. We get a hint that Zane is alive, but we don't explicitly see him. So that's more of enough of a reason to watch the next season on its own. And overall, this episode is easily one of Ninjago's best. I feel like if you ask any Ninjago fan what the best episode is, I guarantee that most people would say this episode, or at least one of them. Easily top 10 for me. Easily makes it into the top 10 best episodes. Some other minor things that I enjoy, I like the introduction of these stone armor suits. Those are easily some of my favorite suits of all time. I enjoy them a lot more than the techno robes, I'll tell you guys that much. Um, but yeah, overall, I thought this was cool. It was cool seeing various other Ninjago characters cameo at the funeral as well. It was kind of nice to see characters like Ed and Edna back. We saw Dareth, of course. Obviously, he didn't do a whole lot, but you know. But overall, this episode very good. Zero negative things to say about this. So obviously, you guys know what I'm going to give this episode in terms of a score. It gets a 10. You guys already knew that. Let's go ahead and get some scores from you guys in the chat too. Let's see how you guys thought of this episode. I am going to take a sip of my water in the meantime. So feel free to drop your scores in the chat. We'll see what you guys got. I have a feeling this is going to be mainly positive. Bunch of 10s out of 10s right off the bat. Yeah, this episode, yeah, no flaws. Can very much say that with confidence. But obviously, that's just my opinion. We got a 7 out of 10. Fair enough. Bunch of 10s, though. 1 out of 10 because they turned Pythor small. 6 out of 10. Couple 10s. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. I feel like we should make that a t-shirt too. um, but yeah, overall this episode's very good, and I feel like a lot of you guys agree. The scores in the chat are kind of overwhelmingly positive, several of which kind of go above the 10 mark. So yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, and obviously that's going to conclude the rebooted saga on this channel. So next week, because today's Friday, so we're not going to be doing streams on the weekend, but next week, Monday, we are going to be getting started with Tournament of Elements, which is my favorite season, so I'm excited to get back into that. And obviously, we're only going to be streaming 3 days next week, and we'll just stream the first 3 episodes of Tournament. Obviously, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So, yeah, I'm super excited to start that. I'm also really happy that we concluded Rebooted. Pretty good season, all things considered. Very short, again, 8 episodes only, but it's still very good. Rebooted's still one of the best seasons, in my opinion. But yeah, season 4 next week. We're going to get started with that. So I'm excited. We will talk about The Invitation on Monday. So I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, that'll wrap it up for the review. However, that's not going to do it for the stream because we still got a fair bit of time to make up here. So let's jump into the Q's and the A's. Any type of question, any type of statement, question, thing. Now is basically the time of the stream where we talk about just anything that comes to mind. One of my favorite times of the stream is just kind of hanging out and talking. So that's pretty much what we're going to do for the next 35-ish minutes. So let's get to it. In terms of pictures, why don't we start off with the movie? I like the Ninjago movie. We'll let the pictures flow in the background. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Did I get the link to all the Ninjago episodes? Yes, I did. And let me see if I can put that in the chat super quick. It might take a minute to boot up Instagram.com on my computer, but we will try. I believe you sent it on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. Just bear with me. Okay, perfect. All right, so big shout out goes to Mr. Flame for pretty much assembling all of these, so I'll put that in the chat. This is a link to all of the Ninjago episodes, I believe, is what you sent. So yeah, in case you guys are wondering, that's basically what we got going on here. So once again, thank you, Mr. Flame, for that. I left that in the chat for those of you guys that want to check that out. Thank you to Mr. Flame for putting that together. Very cool stuff. And yeah, big shout out to you. So yeah, that link is in the chat, guys, in case you want to check out all the episodes. Once again, thank you, Mr. Flame, for putting that together. Thank you very much. But yeah, let's go ahead and get some questions going. Do we got any favorite mini movies from any year of Ninjago? I like the original mini movies from like 2011 when those came out. Those were super fun to watch. My favorite was obviously the battle between brothers. That one was super cool. I enjoy that. Um, yeah, I like those original mini movies. I like the legacy ones too, but not as much as the originals. Did I check Kohl's or Target for any 2021 sets? I did. I went last night and took a look at what we could see, but no, they didn't have anything. I didn't find anything. I went to Kohl's not expecting to find anything, and I didn't. So, but I went next door to Barnes and Noble and bought some manga. So I was kind of sad that I didn't find Ninjago. So I went next door because Barnes and Noble's like immediately right next door. So um, yeah, so that was fun. But no, I didn't find anything. But I am supposed to be getting a package in the mail today at some point that will contain 2021 Ninjago sets. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, even though I can't find them at physical locations, I have them coming in the mail today. They're supposed to be here today. I'm going to be very, very upset if they don't come today because I paid for 2-day shipping. I don't see any link. What I can do is, can I put this in the description? Let's try that. Let me try dropping it in the description. There we go. Okay, so if you guys refresh the stream, you should see the link at the top of the description. So in case you guys want the link to the episodes, some of you guys might have missed it in the chat. Check out the link at the top of the description. Just refresh the stream and you'll find it. So once again, Mr. Flame, thank you for putting that together. But yeah, I'm excited because I do have some Ninjago sets coming in the mail. I got the Overlord Dragon, I got the Zane's Titan Mech Battle, and the Tournament of Elements Legacy set. So looking forward to those. Hopefully they do come today. I also got a new shelf coming today too in the mail. So today's going to be a lot of building. So I'm excited. Lots of building for Lego, lots of building for furniture. First, I got to get through a couple of videos first. So, but yeah, link is in the top of the description for all those episodes in case you guys want to check that out. Once again, thank you, Mr. Flame, for that. You are amazing. Sorry I forgot to put it up yesterday. I couldn't find the link, so we did it today. So, yeah, it is a pretty good Friday, I'd say. Lots of good stuff. Last night was kind of fun. Last night I actually ended up constructing a minifigure stand using a digital designer, which I don't know if anyone uses anymore, like the Lego digital designer program that you can get for a PC. I used that to build a minifigure stand to try to update the one that I have right now. And I started looking into it, started looking on Bricklink for parts, and I guess I didn't realize how much this is going to cost me. It's going to cost me a couple $100 to build this stand if I want to. Part of me doesn't want to do that anymore, and part of me just wants to upgrade to like a big like wooden showcasing thing for my minifigures, which I might just do at that point because I'll be paying the same price for it anyway. But yeah, I put it together, and the stand itself looks really good, I'd say. But yeah, I don't know. It's just too much money to warrant constructing a stand like that. There's a foot of snow in my backyard. Yeah, we don't got any snow here. We have a little bit in like we have like a really awkward like swimming pool in the backyard, but it's obviously not like it's not fixed up for anything. I can't swim in it if I would so desire, but there's snow in that. Like it's kind of frozen over on the top, so that's fun. But yeah, in terms of my minifigure collection, I do want to update the stand at some point here because I do have a couple more figures that I want to get. Obviously, my collection is more or less complete in terms of the Ninja and like the TV show slash movie accurate Ninja, so I have all of those. But I do want to expand my collection out a little bit more, so I might just opt to pick up one of those custom-made wooden minifigure display cases. There's a company called Aero Studios that makes those, so I've been looking at their stuff for a long time, and I might just go with that. So it's kind of like the pool's kind of like a circle, kind of like it's kind of like an above ground pool, but it's like in a circle type thing, and it has like some stairs on either side, and it's just kind of awkwardly constructed, I'd say. It kind of looks weird, like if you're looking at it head on, but yeah, it's kind of frozen over. It's kind of like animals have been in there a lot, so we get a lot of animals in our backyard. We kind of live like near the woods of sorts, so we'll see deer sometimes, raccoons occasionally. So it's pretty popular over here. It's a pretty popular spot. Every once in a while, you'll look out the window and see Dareth running across the yard. So that's fun. Have I got the pilots? I do. We can go ahead and switch over to that really quick if you guys wanted to see pilots. Um, but yeah, do I play Among Us? I do not. I played it a couple of times with my siblings, and they really enjoy it. But I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it, if we're being honest. And also it took up way too much space on on my phone, so I had to delete it. So because obviously I record off my phone, so I need like space for videos and such. So yeah, I see a wild Dareth running across the yard. So that's not fun. Phone the police. We live like right down the road from a police station, so we'll be fine. If anyone tries to bust in here, we'll be fine. But yeah, no, my landlords are super cool too. They live in the apartment beneath us. We're kind of in like a two apartment building, if you will. There's like an upstairs and a downstairs. We're on the upstairs portion. They're on the downstairs, and they're cool. They gave us like a Christmas care package full of like Japanese sweets and snacks. So that was really cool of them. They're cool people. They kind of hold on to my packages until I can get them. So chances are, when my packages come today, they will show up on their porch. So but yeah, in order to get up to our apartment, you kind of have to go around the back of the house, and there's like a wooden staircase that you got to walk up. So, and we have like a balcony and stuff too. It's kind of cool. Eventually, I would like to do like a full apartment tour, but we need to organize and clean up. So, hopefully one day, probably not anytime soon. If anything, we're going to be getting my office tour very soon, probably by the end of the year after Christmas gets done. There's lots of stuff that I want to add to the office. So I've been a fan of you since you had your old intro. Thank you very much. Nice to know you have good landlords. Yeah, they're awesome. Um, they're super cool. They have a kid too, and they've got a bunch of cats as well. There are three cats downstairs, three cats upstairs. Overall in this building, we have six cats. So clearly, we're cat people. Do I have a side job? I do not. I used to work at a grocery store like a couple of months ago, but obviously I moved like a couple hours away from my parents' house, so I don't work there anymore. Clearly, but as of right now, since I don't do that anymore, I was able to put a lot of my time into YouTube. So I'm doing this full time, and I think it's paying off. It's like I'm being paid a decent wage, so that's cool. I'm basically being paid the same as like a minimum wage job, if you will. So it helps keep me afloat. It's basically, this is what I do for my job. And of course, I have more classes coming up in January. So I have a feeling that this is pretty much going to work out for a very long time. Missed. I'm late. What's the score? It was a 10. We gave the episode a 10. Dareth Puffs or Mountain Dew. Honestly, why not both? How old am I? I am 21. So old enough to buy Lego sets at Target. So excited about that. But no, I went to Target the other day. In all seriousness, I went to Target the other day to like grocery shop because we needed a few things, and I strolled through the Lego section. I'm like, all right, let's see what we can find, and everything is rated. There's like nothing, like not even anything for any theme, which makes sense. Obviously, it's Christmas time. People are trying to buy all of the Lego sets for their loved ones, and there's just nothing. So that's unfortunate. But as I said earlier, I got a package coming today, full of legacy sets. So I am excited. I will do a haul video about that. So you guys will see when I open the box. Probably sometime this weekend I'll upload that. I also have a bunch of videos planned on the actual sets themselves that I want to make, so I'm looking forward to it. What's my favorite Lego Ninjago show dragon? I like Rocky, Cole's dragon, the original. He's cool too. Also the Ultra Dragon's fun. The Ultra Dragon, you can't really go wrong with that. My parents will let me get any more sets. I'm too old to get sets. Oh, that's not fair. I don't agree with that. In my opinion, you are never too old for Lego. Lego's enjoyable by everyone, and that's the beauty of it. But yeah, sorry to hear about that, man. When do I think Garmadon would attack again? I'm willing to bet that Garmadon wouldn't attack again. I feel like Garmadon's kind of middle ground now. I feel like he's gonna go with whoever kind of pays him the highest. He's kind of like that middleman, kind of similar to how Ronan is right now. So I hope we see Garmadon one more time, and I hope he actually comes back and puts in a pretty good role into the show. I'm kind of excited for that. Uh, but yeah, dude, like I'm 21 and I still collect Lego sets, so Ninjago's been a thing for like the past 10 years of my life, so I'm gonna stick with it until it ends. I've been debating whether or not to get a Ninjago tattoo at some point because I have one tattoo already, just one, just one on my wrist. But otherwise, thinking about getting a Ninjago tattoo. I'd like to get a Pokemon tattoo at some point, Transformers tattoo, just everything that I'm a big fan of and that's been a part of my life for a long time. Because Pokemon I've been with since I was 6, and Transformers I've been with since I was 7. So, but yeah, I don't know what I would get for a Ninjago tattoo though. But yeah, I do have one tattoo already, just a small one on my wrist. Nothing too crazy. So get a Zane logo tattoo. That would look cool. I was thinking about that, like maybe getting like the channel logo or something like that. But I kind of want to get something specific to Ninjago. So yeah, the Zane logo is obviously my channel logo, but which is another reason why I'm kind of excited to get the Titan mech. Because if you look at the Legacy Titan mech, it basically has Zane's original logo kind of slapped on the side of it, which of course is also my channel logo. May or may not have stolen that from Zane. But yeah, it's kind of cool though because it's like actually like kind of my logo, if you will. Like I've kind of been like using this as a logo for a long time. So on the side of the Titan mech, it kind of has the leg or the symbol on the leg. So yeah, I think that's kind of funny. I remember showing my roommate, and she was like, "Wait, is that your symbol?" I'm like, "No, I actually stole it from Ninjago," but I feel like I've made it my own at this point. Yeah, if Zane copyrights my logo, I will not be happy, man. I put in a lot of effort with this thing, and when you look at it, it's kind of different from the original too. It's obviously supposed to be like the same thing of sorts, but it's different enough, I'd say. A Cole tattoo to honor Kirby Mario, I could totally do that. Like Cole's my favorite ninja, so that's definitely an idea to put in the in the jar. I'll see what happens. I don't know if I want to get a tattoo anytime soon, but it's just ideas that I've been kind of planning. I have other stuff to pay for right now besides like a tattoo. Like I gotta pay rent. Give me rent. How old are my siblings? I'm trying to remember honestly. They're both like super younger than me. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. My younger brother I think just turned 16, and my younger sister is almost 14. I want to say. So yeah, they're around teenage age, so they're obviously a lot closer in age than I am to any of them. So I've kind of always felt a little excluded from that group, if you will. But yeah, they're both younger, still in high school. So yeah, that's how I feel every time I pay rent, man. You'll get your rent when you fix this dang door. Yeah, the Spider-Man, those movies are fun, honestly. Like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. I don't really I don't really think that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. I feel like that honor would probably go to Tom Holland. I want to say I'm one of those people that thinks Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. But now Tobey's cool, but those movies are really funny. Yeah, I'm the oldest of the children. The family has three children, and I am the eldest. I've moved on. Ever since I was 18, I've kind of been on my own, kind of sort of. Like I've lived at school for a long time. I I went back home and lived with my parents for a little bit, and now I'm on my own again. So yay! But yeah, they're probably yeah. Neither of them watch my channel. Like my brother used to be into Ninjago back when it was coming out, but he kind of dropped off with that. He was actually into Chima for a little while. He had a lot of Chima sets. He was like real big into Chima, but obviously that kind of fell off, and now he doesn't collect any Lego. So he's real big into gaming. He has like a whole bunch of video games and stuff. He's kind of like the exact opposite of me. So um, yeah, yeah, we can probably change the background. See, sometimes I ramble and kind of go off on tangents. So 10-hour live stream idea looking back at Ninjago sets from each year through brick set. That could be cool. Maybe I could do that the video that you guys suggested. Maybe I can do that in that stream. Like give my opinion on every single Ninjago set. That could be fun. I'll write that down actually, but I cannot find my marker, so I guess we're gonna have to use the big marker. Every set in 10 hour. All right, I'll know what I'm talking about. What's my phone background? I am not sure. Let me check. Right now, it's a picture of Kotori Minami from Love Live, which is one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite anime. So, and then my actual wallpaper is just like a purple design thing. I like purple. Yeah, squeaky. It's a squeaky marker. It's one of those like I used to have these a lot when I was a kid because my dad used to have like a workshop in our garage. And he had a bunch of these like really huge, like oversized squeaky sharpies. So I have a couple of them. My dad is coming home today from deployment. Oh, that's awesome. Do I have any family members that are in the Army? No, but my dad was in the Navy. He was obviously long retired by the time I was born, but he was in the Navy for the longest time. That's actually where because my dad's like an electrician by nature. He has his own electric company, so um, that's where he kind of learned all of his skills and whatnot. He was kind of part of the maintenance crew on several Navy ships. So obviously, I'm not going to live up to that. I'm sitting here doing Ninjago videos, but I still enjoy what I do. Obviously, I'm not one of those people that feels like I need to live up to like my family or anything like that. So, but no, my dad was in the Navy for a while before I was born. So, um, tell them I thank and will do. Yeah, obviously, if you guys have family members that are in the service, obviously thank you for your service, all that kind of stuff. I do appreciate people that are in the service. I feel like that's a really hard job to do, and for the most part, I feel like a lot of people put a lot of effort into that. So if you guys have family members in the military, give my thanks to them as well. Do I have Dave the Departed in terms of pictures? I guess I don't. I know I have screenshots for Dave the Departed, but I will write that down and add it, and maybe we can add it in the future streams. But I will add it at the end of the stream. It'll probably be here by Monday, Day of the Departed pics. Yeah, sorry for my marker. It's very squeaky. I couldn't find my regular Sharpie, so I have to use the big thick one, the big thick boy, if you will. What do I want to happen in the next season? I feel like next season they're kind of going to be exploring that, obviously that uncharted island, if you will. But I really want it to be like an island that we've seen before. I feel like it'd be cool if it would be like Chen's Island or something like that the ninja have to explore. I'll be doing a video on that at some point, but I feel like that'd be a really cool thing. You'd put in Day of the Departed images. Yeah, like I have Day of the Departed screenshots that I use for videos. So I don't see any reason why we couldn't put them in the stream. Obviously, I don't like Dave the Departed, but I wouldn't mind throwing him in there. Like the actual scenery of Dave the Departed is pretty good. It's like it's fine, but the actual show itself, or the actual what do you call it, the special itself, I don't really care for all that much. Can I show my Ninjago collection? My entire collection is kind of all over the place right now. Some of the sets and pieces are at my parents' house. Some of them are here. When I moved, I didn't bring everything. I've kind of been bringing everything little by little. The apartment itself is fairly small, so it's not like I can fit every single thing in here, but obviously I'm going to be visiting them for Christmas, so I will be bringing back a lot of my Ninjago stuff that I can put up in the new studio. That's kind of why I want to wait on the studio tour, because I really want to add a bunch of my Ninjago sets in there. So ranking the bounties, yeah, I could totally do that. Let me write that down. This is also a good part of streaming. I get to figure out what you guys want to see. So, um, again, I don't really take like viewer suggestions, if you will, but I do like finding out what you guys want to see from my channel and what you want to see from the videos. So if there's anything that you want me to prioritize on my list, please let me know, and I will write it down as a possible idea if I think it would make a pretty interesting video. So. What is this season 15 of Ninjago about? At this point, all we basically know is that it's heavily rumored to be a Nia-focused season, so I guess that's pretty much all we can say. We don't exactly know what it's going to be about just yet. We don't really know what it will, I guess, do for the characters, but all we know is that right now it's very much rumored to be a Nia season, so I guess that's all we know at this current point in time. It's not confirmed yet, just kind of rumored. Um, so, what do I think of the Attack of the Moro Dragon set? I never got that set, but I do think it's pretty. I do think it's a pretty cool looking dragon. It was one that was on my list back in the day to get for Possession when it was coming out. Because when Possession was coming out, I think that's when I had my first job. I was kind of working at my high school cleaning, so that was my very first job that I ever had when I was maybe 15. So that's when Possession was coming out. So I bought a lot of Possession sets with the money that I made from that job, but the Moro Dragon was never one of them. I think I chose to buy the Master Wu Dragon and a few other sets instead of the Moro Dragon, so I never ended up getting the Moro Dragon, but I always thought it looked pretty cool. Even in the show, it looks beastly, so I always thought that was a pretty cool looking dragon, but I never ended up getting it. There are a couple sets that I missed from Possession, and that is one of them. Great Devourer or the Preeminent. I think the Preeminent is probably the more interesting bad guy. I want to actually see a set for the Preeminent, man. That'd be awesome. Legacy Summer Wave, make it happen. I want to see a Preeminent style set. You could call it like the Battle of Six City or something like that. It could be a Legacy remake of the Six City set, but actually give us the Preeminent. That'd be cool. I'd be putting money on that thing happening. So. Do we know if there's a season during the anniversary? Well, the actual anniversary is going to be in January of this year, or January 2021, but we do know that we are getting season 14 in the winter and season 15 in the summer. So yeah, I guess we are getting 2 seasons at the time of the anniversary. So I guess that's fun. But yeah, season 14 and 15 are both confirmed to be coming out next year for 2021. So yeah. I feel like the Preeminent would look weird in set form. Yeah, I feel like if they pull it off right, it could be fine. Obviously, just give it like a bunch of tentacles, give it like legs. You could obviously make it like out of like houses and stuff too, kind of similar to what it was in the show. I feel like that could be a really cool set to make, like a Battle of Stick City legacy set, and have the Preeminent be in there. That could be awesome. I want to see more tributes. I know, I'm trying my best. Um, Obviously, during like the Christmas season as well, it's kind of busy. So. What do I think a legacy Moro figure could be? I feel like all they do is just kind of update the prints. I feel like the actual Moro figure that we got is very solid, all things considered. What if they made like a legacy Moro figure based off of, I guess, the original Legacy Lloyd? Like they could kind of remake that suit, kind of make it a ghostly figure. I think that could be kind of cool. Otherwise, though, Moro, I don't know. I feel like overall Moro as a figure right now is pretty great. So even if they brought back like the same design, I don't think I would care all that much because that Moro design already is really cool and really solid. So, what if Pixel wasn't a robot? Then I guess her relationship with Zane would be kind of weird. I honestly feel like Zane and Pixel work because they're both robots. I don't think Pixel would work with any other ninja besides Zane because the concept of like a robot slash human relationship, I don't know how that would work. I'm not like dismissing anything. I'm just saying I'm not sure how that would work in the context of Ninjago. So her relationship with Zane would be different, but overall, I feel like her character would remain pretty much the same overall. Especially nowadays, when like being a robot for her really doesn't matter all that much. She's just a Samurai X. So Pixel or Vanya? I'm going to say Vanya is the better character. I feel like I like Vanya a little bit more than I like Pixel. Obviously, Skylar kind of tops all of them, though, in terms of female characters. Honestly, Ninjago's got some pretty solid female characters. I mean, Ninjago's like that, one of those examples where, they do like strong female characters justice. I feel like that works really well for Ninjago. So, a couple of characters on the Ninjago scene that mean a lot to me are, obviously Skylar. We got Cole. Obviously, Cole's not a female character, but yeah, Cole's super cool. Skylar. Obviously, Ninjago's got a bunch of different characters. Ninjago's got somebody for everybody. I feel like everybody has a character in Ninjago that they can kind of latch onto in that way. So I like that. That's what I like about Ninjago. Why do I like Skylar so much? I like Skylar because I really like her attitude. Her personality is amazing. In season 4, she's kind of deceptive a little bit, and I kind of like that. But eventually, she, I guess, grows a heart a little bit and joins up with the ninja against her father. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool redemption story. I thought she was really cool in terms of her fighting. Her power's super amazing. I don't know. There's just a lot about her that I enjoy, and overall, she's kind of grown to become one of, if not my favorite, female Ninjago character. I just really like Skylar, and I've kind of stuck with that for a long time. I feel like I talked about Skylar a lot on this channel. Do I ship Kai and Skylar? I do. I feel like those two together are really, really fun, and I'd like to see more of that. This is why I feel like Skylar should have joined joined the team, because obviously she kind of declined, but I feel like she should have joined. That would have been awesome. Tanner Skylar. No, I don't want to steal. I don't want to steal Kai's girlfriend there. Do I like Star Wars? Star Wars, I like some stuff from it. Star Wars was never something growing up that I latched onto. All of my friends kind of liked Star Wars, but I really didn't. But some stuff that I enjoy, I like Revenge of the Sith. That's hilarious. I like Force Awakens. I actually think that's a genuinely good movie. And then obviously The Mandalorian. We're kind of watching that right now. Me and my roommate are watching it. We're only a couple of episodes in, but so far from what I've seen, it's really great. So yeah, I like some stuff from Star Wars. I have seen all of the movies, and unless they are Revenge of the Sith or Force Awakens, I don't like them. Just personally, there's a lot of stuff in Star Wars that I just don't care for. Um, so yeah, I don't hope for a Ninjago movie too. Well, don't worry, it's probably not going to happen. I don't really think we're going to be seeing any Lego movies for a really, really long time. I will be genuinely surprised if we see another Lego movie within the next 5 years, I'd say. So. Gotta go. Everyone have a great day. Stay safe. All right, Jordan's World. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're awesome. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, obviously, if you guys need to like duck out or anything like that, it's completely understandable. There's never a moment where I'm just kind of thinking like, ugh, this person's joining or this person's leaving. No, everyone's welcome. Everyone can do whatever they want here. This is just a place for all of us Ninjago fans to hang out and talk about Ninjago, which is fun. So that's just something that I want to make here. So. Just want to make that very clear. If you guys are ever late to a stream, if you guys can't join a stream at all, do not worry. I am 100% okay. Everyone's got their own lives, everyone's got their own things going on, and that is 100% understandable. How do I link stuff on the stream? Links might be disabled for the chat. I feel like links in the chat might automatically go to the spam folder just because they are links. So I feel like the only people that can actually link things are me, unless I change that setting, which I'm not sure how to do during the stream. So um, I'll mess around with that and see what we can do in the next stream. The only reason why it would be disabled is because, obviously if the links are open, people would link random stuff in there, probably inappropriate things. So obviously they have that disabled for a reason. So I'll think about it and see what we can do about that. Um, Morrow minifigure or possessed Lloyd. I feel like the possessed Lloyd figure is awesome, and that's kind of a figure that I regret selling. I still wish I had that figure, but I need to buy it again for the collection at one point. So I don't consider that a form of Lloyd. I consider that to be a form of Morrow. So I still need it for the Morrow collection, if you will. So why do I hate Kai the most? I don't hate Kai the most. I hate Nia. And even being said, I don't hate Nia. Nia is just kind of my least favorite. If I were to rank the ninja, I would say Cole's my favorite, then Zane, then Lloyd, then Jay, then Kai, then Nia. Nia, I just don't understand. I don't really see her appeal. That's why I'm kind of hoping that season 15 is going to be a Nia story, because maybe that can, make me enjoy her character a little bit more. But no, Kai's cool. I just never really related to Kai all that much. A lot of my friends really liked Kai, but I never did. Kai was just never someone that I kind of latched onto. But Kai is still not a bad character. He's perfectly fine in his own way. He's just not one of my favorites. Yeah, that's accurate. I kind of hate Dareth. Dareth just isn't all that great. He's kind of meh to me. But yeah, I'd say Cole's still my favorite. Do I want a series about the Ninja Kids? I do. I feel like a next generation Ninjago story could be awesome, because Ninjago is one of those stories with like an expanded universe and expanded lore, all that kind of stuff. You can explore a lot of things in Ninjago. You can make spin-offs if you would like to, featuring either like side characters such as some of the other elemental masters, or even like side stories involving like the ninjas' kids eventually. If all of the ninja were to have children and pass on their powers, I feel like that could be a pretty fun story. Overall, Ninjago has a lot of potential. and it's one of those universes that I think is like super impressive, especially for like a Lego theme. Ninjago has a lot to offer there. Ninjago has a lot of extended lore and a lot of overly complicated backstory. It kind of reminds me of like a modern day Bionicle, if you will. Um, but that kind of makes me fearful because Lego kind of scrapped Bionicle in the first place because the lore just got way too complicated. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that Ninjago sticks around for a long time because there's honestly a lot of potential here that I feel like we should totally see from Ninjago before the series ends. We can change to Prime Empire. There we go. I don't know. I like Prime Empire. Who do I relate to the most? Probably Cole. For one, Cole likes cake. I like cake. But no, I really like Cole as a character. I think he's a really strong leader. I think he's awesome. Just overall, I find myself latching on to Cole more than any of the other ninja. So, and obviously Zane's kind of awesome as well. I like Zane. Zane's a pretty cool character. My first Ninjago set ever was the original Zane spinner, so I have a kind of have a soft spot there for Zane overall. But he's been my favorite a little bit, I guess. He was never like my absolute favorite, but he was kind of getting closer and closer. He's always kind of been a runner-up because my original favorite ninja was Jay. Then I jumped on to Lloyd, and then obviously Cole has been my favorite for the past couple of years. I'd say since the Ninjago movie came out. Um, but no, Zane was always kind of like my second place, like my go-to second. So yeah, right. The stream is almost over. 6 minutes left on this timer here, which is crazy because this went by super quick. It's 100% confirmed that season 15 will be about Nia. I wouldn't say 100%. They've kind of been dropping various hints on Twitter about whether or not season 15 will be Nia's. I think it's very likely. I'd say it's about 90% confirmed, but there's still that like subtle, I guess, 10% that might suggest that it's not. But for the most part, I feel like overall it's very much going to be Nia's story. I feel like there's a lot of hints pointing towards that right now. So I'd be willing to bet money that season 15 will be Nia's. So, but it's still not 100% confirmed yet. Which of the original ninjas' parents is the best? Well, I like Ray and Maya. I feel like they make a pretty good duo. So I like them. Um, if anything, it'll be a heavy Nia focus like season 5. Yeah, for sure. Because obviously season 5 I wouldn't say was Nia's story, but I do think she had a very large role in that storyline. I've always kind of been under the impression that season 5 was Lloyd's. Oh, are we lagging a little bit? We might be dropping frames, but I think we're fine now. So I was always under the impression that season 5 was Lloyd's story, but obviously Nia had a very large role. That's the season where she became a ninja. That's the season where she came into her own element a little bit more, gained her water powers. So that's super fun. What do I think will happen to Jay and the Chief in season 14? I don't know. I kind of published a video earlier today. I think it went up earlier. It was scheduled like a couple of days ago, talking about how Jay might be injured in the next season, and maybe he could finally get his eye patch, and that's why people would be or should be scared for Jay, because maybe he's just going to get injured super bad, and he'll finally get that eye patch that we've been seeing for a long time. I feel like if anything's going to happen, I feel like Jay's going to be injured by the Chief, or maybe in another season. Who's to say? Again, Tommy Andreasen, when he kind of posted that tweet talking about how Jay fans should be scared for Jay, I think he was kind of referring to the year of 2021 as a whole instead of just season 14. So, who's to say? Yeah, maybe we will be seeing his eyebrow scar again too. A lot of people want to see that back, the notch in Jay's eyebrow. Um, Not so sure why they took that away. That was always something that was kind of like a go-to for Jay. But I feel like Jay's the person that kind of got the biggest downgrade, if you will, from designs. I like Jay's hair, but I kind of prefer the old Jay's face a little bit more. I feel like that looks a lot older than what we got now for Jay. So, do I like Garmadon most as Lord Garmadon or Sensei Garmadon? Honestly, both versions of Garmadon work for me. I feel like Sensei Garmadon is a very cool teacher. I'd rather have him teach me as opposed to Master Wu, if that says anything. But yeah, overall, Lord Garmadon's awesome too. I really like his. I think my favorite version of Garmadon, if we're being honest, is the Garmadon that we saw in March of the Oni, which was very similar to the Garmadon that we saw in the Ninjago movie. He's kind of sarcastic. He's kind of just like annoyed at everything, and I think that's really fun. I feel like in March of the Oni, he has a really cool dynamic with Lloyd, which is awesome, and that's part of the reason why I feel like March of the Oni is very much underrated. Because the Lloyd and Garmadon shenanigans that go on in that episode or that season rather, that's it's just great. Watch March of the Oni. It's very underrated. So really like that. With only a few minutes left in the stream, let's turn it over to rapid fire questions. Again, it went by very quick, but this is what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get some rapid fire questions in the chat. Anything that I can answer in just like a quick sentence or two to round out the stream. Let me know what you guys have questions on. And yeah, it did go by pretty quick. Sorry about that. How big do you think the realms are? Each realm is kind of has like a different size. I'd predict they're all really big worlds, obviously, but I feel like each realm is kind of I guess different in terms of size. Favorite movie? I really enjoyed Tremors from 1990. That's probably my all-time favorite movie. Could Asphira have been a better Serpentine villain? Yeah, I feel like if she was written a little more clearly, she could have been a lot better. If her main driving goal wasn't purely revenge, I feel like she would have worked a little better. Blonde hair Kai or brown hair Kai? I'd say brown hair Kai is a little better than blonde Kai. Um, do I think Jay could lose his power? Could be. We've seen a lot of that in prior seasons, though, so I hope they don't touch on that too much. I hope we actually get a full-on season where the ninja never lose their powers. That could be cool, but who's to say? I don't really know what's going to be happening in the next season. What's my least favorite season? Minus season 11. Yeah, either season 11 or Day of the Departed, if you can count Day of the Departed as a season. Why do I hate Shima being a realm? I've kind of grown fond of it at this point. I remember when it first came out, I really just did not like Chima, and I was kind of against the idea of Chima being one of the realms, but now I've kind of grown onto it. I feel like right now it's kind of appropriate considering the circumstances. Chima's not a thing anymore, so it's not like they're ever going to cross over with Ninjago anytime soon. They had that one episode in season 11 with the Chima Beavers, but other than that, we just haven't really seen anything. Which season 9 storyline did I enjoy the most? I really liked the Marooned Ninja storyline in the first realm. I felt like that storyline was super fun. Lloyd's element is not energy, it's green. Yeah, according to the Ninjago movie. Um, do I watch any other cartoons besides Ninjago or anime? Not as much as I would like. There's a bunch of different shows and cartoons that I'd like to watch, but unfortunately, time restraints. I'm either doing videos or I'm just hanging out. Lately, I've been checking out Disenchantment with my roommate on Netflix, so that's been kind of cool. And that's coming back, I think, in January for another season, so that's kind of fun. But other than that, not much of anything. Would I do video reviews of the new Ninjago sets? Yeah, I plan on doing reviews for the sets that I pick up. I got a package coming later today that's supposed to have legacy sets in it. Hopefully it comes today. But yeah, I will be doing review videos for them um, when I get around to it. That's definitely a plan of mine. So, and to answer the question, did I get the Ninjago 2021 sets? Yes, I did. They are supposed to be coming later today in the mail, so I'm pretty hyped for that. I hope they actually do show up today. I paid for 2-day shipping and I bought them 2 days ago, so fingers crossed. If I could change every bit, if I could change every bit of the designs, how and why? The only thing I would change is I would keep Jay's face maybe similar to what it was earlier. That's honestly my only like nitpick with the new ninja designs. I just really just don't care for Jay's new face. The freckles I think are fine, but I feel like his eyebrows should definitely be similar to what they were earlier in Ninjago, and it's kind of the only thing that I would really change about any of these new designs. What's my favorite Zane design? I like his original titanium form. What we saw him as season 4, I feel like that's the best that Zane's ever looked. Obviously, the new titanium form is cool too, but I prefer the original titanium. Let's answer one more question before we wrap up the stream here. Um, yeah, the freckles could be later, I agree. Uh, but let's answer one more. Yeah, we can answer that. I'd like to talk about that too. Have you ever noticed that Scott and Lloyd's alternate face are the same? Yeah, in terms of faces, Prime Empire kind of did a lot of that. I feel like overall they kind of reprint faces here and there. Another cool example is if you look at Digi Cole, his visor face is the same as Lloyd's default face, except it has a visor printed over it, but the exact same mouth is there. So, in my opinion, it's kind of saving Lego time and money to just reuse prints like that, but I also feel like it's kind of not really super great, kind of dare I say lazy. We got John with a 199 donation. Well, now I got to answer this question. Thank you, John, for the donation. Thank you very, very much. Which ninja has the best hair and which has the worst? In terms of nowadays, we'll answer this question before we end off the stream. Thank you, John, once again for the donation. In terms of which ninja has the best hair, honestly, I'd say Jay. I like Jay's hair. The only thing I don't like about Jay is his face, man. I really like his hair though. That hair is perfect. In terms of the worst, maybe the new Zane hairpiece isn't the best. I'd honestly say Zane. But overall, the ninja have fantastic heads of hair. all around. So that'll pretty much wrap it up for this stream. Thank you, John, for the $1.99 donation. Again, right at the end of the stream. Thank you very much. In terms of the information, and we can do the end of the stream hug tradition now if you guys want to. Everybody just spam hug in the chat. But yeah, we stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. And we will update this day by day. If it's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know. Next week, we will be back on Monday with Season 4. So that'll be fun. No streams for the rest of the weekend, obviously. Taking the weekend off. Actually, that's not even true. I gotta do videos a lot this weekend. But this weekend, there will be a lot more content coming out in terms of videos, but we will not be streaming again until Monday. And on Monday, we will start with Season 4, The Invitation. So thank you guys very, very much. All the hugs in the chat are glorious. Every single one of you is awesome. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and thanks a lot for checking out the stream. If you guys enjoyed what you saw here, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 90K subscribers, and at 90K, we'll be doing another big giveaway. So subscribe if you guys are new, and thank you guys very much. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you guys on Monday for the streams, and obviously there will be more videos coming out today and over the weekend, so hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thank you very much for tuning into this stream. Have a fantastic weekend.